and a glimpse inside the locker room. Players' final few moments to prepare for the game and the task ahead. You're looking live and down at the Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles, California. The setting for our broadcast tonight. And a good Thursday evening to you. 2K Sports presents the NBA. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. DA will join us tonight on the sideline. Let's check out the Western Conference standings right now that we're here in the new year. Taking a look at Houston, sitting 8th right now in the early going. And, of course, Los Angeles. They're down in 8th place.
Yeah, right now, the Rockets, they've shown me some very good things this season. But that next step, those qualities that could make them true contenders, just haven't been there.
Yeah, and, you know, we've seen them enough to know by now they're not going to make that switch from good to great at this point. Not this year, anyway.
We are nearly ready for the tip-off, but first, let's hear from our very own David Aldridge. DA, it's all yours.
Kevin, thanks very much. James Harden has led the league in points per game the last 3 seasons. And the Beard said, honestly, it's not even about me scoring. Teams are playing me for the pass. I just try to make the best play, and whether that's scoring or passing, every game is different. Kevin, back to you.
DA, he is dangerous in both facets. He's hard to stop. On tonight, Greg, 2 teams with a lot of history that know each other very, very well.
And sometimes familiarity breeds contempt.
Yeah.
And that goes for the players, coaches, and fans. This one might get heated.
I'm sure you felt that way many times when you play.
Almost every time I took the floor.
Good.
You literally want to dislike your opponent.
Here's the starting group for Houston. Westbrook and Harden, the dynamite pair. They're the backcourt. P.J. Tucker is out there with Robert Covington, and it's Gordon in at the small forward. And for the Clippers, they've got Paul George. Morris is out there with Montrezl Harrell. Then it's Williams, and it's Mann in at the 3 spot. Now here's Westbrook to the inside. Howard down after the assist. Let him into the lane.
You know, when you're open on Westbrook's team, he makes sure to find you. He's a selfless distributor.
Outside, George. Shoots over Covington. He hits the back iron and sinks the shot.
Well, that's a smooth-looking jumper by Paul George. I mean, he's one of the more gifted scorers in the league, and there's no place on the floor where he can't hurt you.
And it's Gordon missing. For the Houston Rockets, they come into tonight following a loss to the Nuggets in Denver.
Yeah, on the road, you're already a little out of your element. Then the misses from the line become contagious.
And, you know, one of the things about missing free throws is not only are you not getting points yourself, but it allows the other team to maintain momentum or keep a rally going.
Now George, after Eric Gordon's three-pointer that didn't go. Harrell up top. Got a piece of it.
A rare rejection that time from Tucker, using that long reach, though, and times it perfectly.
Here's Harden. The Rockets again can't hit. For Los Angeles, they've gone 2 of 3 here to start out the game. And Covington sends it back. Now Westbrook, 17 points in his last outing. On the wing, Harden fires the 3. No good on that one. And the Clippers will go the other way with it.
And you look at Robert Covington, first-team All-Defense in 2018, the kind of versatile stopper that every team in the league could use.
Gordon finds Harden. A nice shot by Tucker.
Yeah, you got to do a lot more than that against Tucker, fellas. He's too big, too strong at times for the defense.
Now the pass to Harrell. And the officials will call the illegal screen right there. And Covington may be not a star, but he's a winning player. We've seen that.
And the perfect example of that 3-and-D role player can guard 4 or 5 positions and can definitely sling it from outside.
A tremendous Mobile One block that we had to see again. Great send back.
And early in the game, a defensive play like that goes a long way, establishing the attitude you want.
Now, here's Westbrook checking some stats on him right now. He's averaging just around 22.5 points a game. Takes a three. Harden, no good. And so it's Williams who brings it up for Los Angeles. Teardrop shot. Good D by Covington.
Boy, patrolling the paint well, protecting the rim. That's exactly the kind of defensive effort you need against him.
And count it. The shot is good. He'll go to the free throw line.
Love it when Westbrook takes it right at the defense like that. Strong and then finishes as well.
First trip to the free throw line for him tonight.
And his free throws are falling at a rate of only about 72% on the season. Not terrible, but listen, you obviously would expect him to do better.
I think it's been a struggle for him at the line. He's been scuffling this season. I mean, he's pretty well below the percentage that he shot a season ago, and not quite sure why.
And that one falls for Westbrook.
Hey, you can't diminish Westbrook's triple-doubles, but just as important to me are the intangibles. His passion, his tenacity, his competitive spirit and drive. I mean, that infects the whole team in a positive way.
So timeout called here, the first for Los Angeles. They won their last game against the Rockets in Houston.
And the last time they faced this club, rebounding was their big advantage.
Clearly, that was the overriding factor. A double-digit advantage on the board.
James Harden.
And guys, it hasn't been pretty for him in the past 5 games. He's having one of those scoring slumps that all players go through at some point in the season. But I know he hadn't lost his confidence, and I expect this young man to get after it here tonight.
Now here's Jackson. Looking at his point production, he averages almost 8 points a game. Pass to Beverly. Just 5 on the clock. Green with the block. To the paint. And Westbrook gets it to go on the assist from Harden. Westbrook's got 5 points so far.
Westbrook's so good at maintaining control, even though he plays at high speed and with great aggressiveness.
Down low, and it's George finishing it off.
Boy, the high-flying acrobatics of George, something to behold. When he leaves the ground for these alley-oops, you drop your jaw in awe.
And once he got to the 10, I think he was surprised to find himself that wide open.
Well, this early, they should be showing a lot more energy on defense. It's not there.
Now here's Jackson. Still getting warmed up offensively. No scoring yet from him. Good D by Westbrook.
And typically he has the touch to finish when he's in tight, but not sure on that possession.
Carroll finds Westbrook. And Westbrook throws it down hard.
Just by nature of his style, Westbrook is going to draw contact, so he's got to be strong enough and focused enough to play through it. And he is and does.
Now here's Jackson. 1:15 left in the first quarter. Stolen by Harden. And it's Houston on the break. And he gets the basket. Officials blowing the whistle, so a chance at the line for one more.
There are very few any better than Harden at the and one. He's an expert. He looks for the contact, initiates it, gets it, and still finishes. You can't be too physical with him.
And the Clippers making a switch here. Shamet's checked in, and a change for the Rockets. McLemore's checked in for DeMarre Carroll. That free throw good from Harden.
And it's kind of the running joke when you think of James Harden, often maligned for his lack of effort defensively. But quite honestly, I thought he improved a great deal a season ago.
And, you know, Greg, I observed the same thing. His overall commitment was better. And not just steals and blocks either. I'm just talking about his awareness, his commitment to that end of the floor. It was a focal point. If he continues on that track, I think he's going to make an impact at that end as well.
Marcus Morris is checked in for the Clippers. And a switch here also for Houston. Rivers checked in.
One shot.
The free throw drops for Jackson.
And Jackson certainly doesn't lack confidence. A speedy guard who can fill it up in no time.
Westbrook against Jackson. Westbrook double team. Rivers kicks to Green. Off target from three-point range.
And close to making the defense pay for the lax coverage that time.
Morris off to a good start as he hits his first shot attempt.
An efficient score inside. Morris can beat you with a variety of moves.
About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Here's Westbrook. And he overshot that one, missing. Clippers trail by 5. Now here's Jackson. There's the three. Drills the three-pointer. Jackson's got 6.
And Jackson has become a reliable three-point shooter. That's a shot you got to respect.
Russell Westbrook has been leading the charge for the Houston Rockets. He finishes with 9 points in the quarter. The D is having all sorts of problems with him. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Naturally a ball-dominant player, James Harden talked to us about others setting him up a little bit more.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal. Of course, playing off the ball is something that I'm comfortable doing. Like I'm able to catch and shoot. I'm able to play off, on the wings.
Giving their offense another dynamic.
And it also helps him preserve some energy for those big moments in the big games.
Some good action already in this one, but a fairly even matchup after the first quarter of play. And when you consider how the Rockets are doing, guys, what are your thoughts?
Well, in that first quarter, they were intent on just pounding the ball down low.
Yeah, and it's worked. They've got a clear edge and points in the paint. Now we'll see if they go with a more balanced attack or just keep on pounding it inside.
We've got Reggie Jackson. Morris is out there with Ivica Zubac. Then there's Landry Shamet, and it's man in at the 3. That's who's out there for the Clippers.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
The free throw drops for Zubac. Greg, we know there's some power finishers in the NBA like Giannis Antetokounmpo, but he complains a lot that he needs to sell contact rather than muscle through it. How do you evaluate those kind of power finishers in the game?
Well, I mean, there's still power will always play a role, especially when you can add in quickness and athleticism. And I think you start right there with Giannis. I mean, he's kind of epitomizes that. LeBron obviously is still in that category. And a guy like Kawhi Leonard, he can send you into the stanchion when he gets going downhill as well.
Now here's McLemore. Covington passes to Gordon. And McLemore kicks to Gordon. 5 on the clock. Houston needs to get a shot up. Houston now working with the new shot clock. Covington with the bucket.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Yeah, and that's 4 straight field goals now they've allowed from point-blank range. Can't happen.
Williams' shot is off. Houston leading by 3. Here's Gordon. Whistle blows. Basket is good. So a chance here for a 3-point play.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Well, listless and lifeless at the defensive end. I mean, especially inside. They've really got to pick up that interior defense.
Free throw good. Gordon.
Really appreciate the all-around game of Gordon. He's an underrated defender, but a dynamic scorer.
Williams passes to Zubac. Basket is good. He'll get a chance for one more at the line.
And when the size advantage is as big as it was there, I mean, that's exactly what he's supposed to do in that situation.
The Clippers have shot 2 of 3 from the free throw line tonight.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. One shot.
Houston leading by 3. Here's McLemore. Out of bounds. The Clippers take possession. Here's what the Houston Rockets schedule looks like. On Saturday, they'll head home to take on the Dallas Mavericks. And then on Tuesday, they'll face off against Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat.
And for that game against the Spurs, this is a game that they are expected to win. But sometimes those are the kind of games where you get a little bit sloppy and start looking ahead. Either way, they'll need to put in tremendous effort to walk away with the victory.
For Houston, they've gone 2 of 3 from the field here to open the second quarter. Here's Covington. And the layup's good off the glass.
Timeout, timeout.
Covington's got his second basket of the night.
And Kevin, they've dialed up their activity this quarter. We're seeing them convert a lot of those second chance opportunities.
Well, the hustle and the effort, the persistence, all of that paying off in a big way. And that's something that makes a coach smile.
And the Clippers call time here. And as the coaches go to the clipboard to outline their strategy during the timeout, the players getting a chance to rehydrate with some Gatorade. That's key to staying fresh all the way to the final whistle.
And Kevin, it really is. And every one of these players knows it. They're all making sure to stay hydrated. It's impossible to play your A game if you're not getting enough to drink, especially towards the end of games when the physical toll of a long contest really starts to add up.
Harrell, he's checked in for the Clippers. Paul George comes in for Landry Shamet.
And let's check out some stats. Here are the numbers for Rivers. He's averaging about 7 points a game, 3 assists, and 2 rebounds. And he's very steady with that second unit, running the offense and getting them into their sets.
Right. I mean, your backup point guard simply has to hold the fort, maintain the status quo, share the basketball, and minimize mistakes.
Here's Rivers after the basket by Montrezl Harrell. And the rejection by Harrell. And pushing it up, here's Los Angeles. And it's George missing. And it's Gordon with the ball. He brings it up for the Houston Rockets. Following this one, they get to host the Mavericks. And that's the first game in a string of 3 straight at home. Greg, in 1991, you were drafted 12th overall. Talk about early expectations as a first-round pick. Your son going through it right now.
Yeah, no doubt. Listen, everyone wants to see what you've got. And also, you want to prove that you belong. And so, because of that, though, especially in today's game, sometimes judgment comes way too quickly. And we've seen it with a lot of great young players that because they come in a lot earlier in terms of their age, it may take them an extra year or two to figure it all out. And so the teams that are most patient in allowing those kids to mature at their own level tend to be the ones that get the higher rewards.
Indeed. And we see so much impatience, and it causes problems. Catching up on the changes for Houston. Damari Carroll's checked in for P.J. Tucker, and James Harden has subbed in for McLemore. Clippers trail by 4. Williams looking around. Pass to George. Over Harden. And good. Got the friendly bounce off the right side of the rim. George has got 8 points.
When PG-13 is feeling it, he can be an absolute monster from mid-range.
Gordon finds Carroll. Harden against George. Back to Carroll. Passes it to Harden. From deep. Rebound by Harrell. The Clippers have gone 3 of 7 shooting the ball here in the second quarter. On the wing, Williams. Carroll covering. Here's Harrell. And it's good. Assisting on the play was Williams. Harrell's got it all tied up now for Los Angeles.
That's their 3rd straight make off an assist.
In the corner, Harden drains it from beyond the arc. 6 points for him.
Love the speed with which Harden gets his shot off, timing his release beautifully off the pass. Nice stuff.
George passes to Harrell. That's tipped. Stolen by Harden. And the bucket is good. 3-point play
Shot's
chance
good.
here for him.
Just reliable, guys. He's just always trying to make the right play.
All right, well, look at how the hustle game has been going for the Rockets.
They've made the commitment to get out and run, and it's paid off with some highlight reel plays in transition.
They've gotten their fair share of points off turnovers so far tonight, too.
Patrick Beverly, he's checked in for the Clippers. Reggie Jackson comes in for Lou Williams. And then for Houston, Green, he's checked in for Robert Covington. Daniel House comes in for Gordon. And Russell Westbrook subbed in for Rivers.
You know, it's become almost a foregone conclusion that Harden is going to lead the league in free throw attempts every year. He is a master at getting to the line.
Clippers trail by 6. 1:53 left to play here in the second quarter. Jackson has the open look. And again, it's the Clippers from deep.
Maybe he's not one of the elite sharpshooters, but even still, that's not a shot that D can afford to give him.
Oh, and the jam by Westbrook.
Westbrook has tremendous elevation for a guard. So athletic, and not only does he get high up in the air, he's strong while he's up there.
Now here's Jackson. 9 points in the game so far. Los Angeles calls timeout.
Every timeout, a chance to review the lineups, matchups, or call a play.
And I agree. I think there's going to be a new wrinkle in their game plan when they come out of this timeout.
Zubac is checked in for Morris.
So a moment now to see the story on James Harden. He's been fantastic over the last 10 games or so, averaging 29 points per game, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds. It's hard to wrap your head around numbers like these, but that is just what he delivers night in and night out.
You know, it's so easy for us to take him for granted, to get spoiled with what he does. I think we've got to be more appreciative of the kind of impact this man has in every game he plays.
And Jackson gets it to go.
He's certainly starting to heat up from outside. That's his 3rd for the game, his 2nd in this quarter.
Jackson against Westbrook. He kicks it to House. Here's the pass to Westbrook. And some nice passing there by Houston. Just 3 to shoot from the arc. Rebound by the Clippers.
And the rebound battle split evenly thus far.
Yeah, tit for tat on the glass. Just one more aspect of what's been a very closely contested ball game here.
Now here's Westbrook after the miss from Reggie Jackson. Over George. Here's Harden. It's good for his 4th bucket of the night. He's shooting 4 of 8.
I don't think there's anybody who works harder for his points than Harden does. I mean, if he has to attack the glass to get him, he'll do that too.
There's 14 seconds left in the first half. And here's George. He had an 18-point outing in the last game against Boston.
And one of the big ways he came through was at the foul line. They couldn't contain him. He was equally effective at scoring baskets as well as getting to the line.
And some good action through the first 2 quarters as we reach halftime. Rockets lead by 2. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Hey, Kevin, thanks. Hey, James, we know that scoring seems to come easy for you. How do you create that mentality out there?
I just like to have fun. You know, it's all for the kids. It's all for the fans. You know, I think that's what we're here for. And so, you know, guys, just go out there and compete, have fun, and just play hard.
My family doesn't think it's all for the kids, but I appreciate your sentiment. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. We'll be back after halftime for the start of the 3rd quarter.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
We welcome you back. Ernie Johnson with Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. Quite the tussle there in the first half, huh? It was all Russell Westbrook in the first quarter. He ended up with 15 points, 9 rebounds, and 1 assist. Kenny, what'd you think about the Rockets?
They obviously came in wanting to push the action. And so far, so good. They're looking to get easy transition baskets because the other team is not getting back on defense.
Shaq, what was your takeaway on the Clippers?
Well, it's been a big night for the guys off the bench so far. The scoring has given them a real spark. I think we can expect a few more minutes for the reserves than usual tonight.
And that does it for our halftime show. We now take you back to Kevin Harlan for the start of the 3rd period.
And in that first half, we saw a pretty tight battle. We'll soon find out what sort of adjustments were discussed during the half. One of the stories here, Reggie Jackson getting it done today.
Yeah, he's just been raining down on them from deep here. Talk about dialed in.
Well, you know, the stroke looks fantastic. Even when he's had a hand in his face, it hasn't affected him at all.
And if you're just joining us, we've played through the first half in a game that's been fairly even so far. LA has gone 3 of 5 from beyond the arc so far tonight. And on the floor for Mike D'Antoni starting the second half. Harden and Gordon are out on the wings. PJ Tucker is out there with Robert Covington. And it's Westbrook in at the one. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line. Greg, you really began to emerge and got on the national scene at UNLV, but you started your college career at Portland where you were actually named the Conference Freshman of the Year.
Yeah, how about I actually averaged more points in Portland than in any season I played at Vegas. Totally different roles, but Portland's always going to have a sweet spot in my heart. My first child was born in the great city of Portland.
first free throw is good.
And George has learned a lot and I think continues to evolve as a leader. He relishes the chance to deliver for this team.
And it's tied up with that one.
Already a very confident player. Knocking down those free throws only fuels that.
Westbrook against Williams. The shot's good from Westbrook. Westbrook's got 13.
Boy, it's been a great game thus far for Westbrook, and he's not done yet. Never satisfied, always pushing the envelope.
Now, here's George. Dishes it to Harrell. Back to George. Shoots it. That one's not going to go. The Rockets go the other way with it. Westbrook against George. Gordon, the pass to Harden. And the three off target. And it's Williams with the ball for the Los Angeles Clippers. A 2-point game. Following this one, they get to host the Pelicans. And that game concludes a 5-game homestand.
Beyond the leaning, you could see his feet more set on that screen. Easy call.
Yeah, I agree. You know, sometimes that can be a tough call for the refs to make, but not that time. It was easy there.
And for Houston, they're shooting at 50% in a decent groove. Gordon kicks to Westbrook. Harden outside. 90 seconds now into the second half. Good work defensively by Morris.
You know, it hasn't been his best outing, but they still find themselves in the driver's seat here.
Back to George. The shot from 20 feet away. And right on through for another basket. He's got 5 made on 5 of 9 shooting.
So impressive. The fortitude, the will to battle back, but it did take a lot of energy to get here.
Yeah, you know, battling back is about staying the course, and their attitude never changed.
And the Clippers call time here. And the Houston Rockets last season going out and getting Robert Covington. Greg, why was that a good fit for this team?
You know, Kevin, his range shooting really unlocked Westbrook's ability to get to the lane. Also, Covington's contract creates some flexibility, one of the best values in the league as far as productivity.
For the Clippers, Ivica Zubac has checked in for Harrell, and Landry Shamet subbed in for George. And then for Houston, McLemore has come in for James Harden. And it's Austin Rivers in for Russell Westbrook. Shamet finds Williams. For the lead, they get it back. Zubac hangs in midair and converts on the double clutch layup. Zubac has got the game tied up here for the Clippers. A little under 2.5 minutes gone by here in the third. Pass to McLemore. Tucker with the ball. Houston moving the ball around. Here's Covington. And it's Shamet with the rebound. For Los Angeles, they've gone 2 of 4 here to start the second half. Williams with the ball. And it's Gordon picking him up. Stolen by Tucker. And now here's Rivers, the fast break opportunity. And it's Gordon finishing it off.
And the defense to start that play was terrific. I love the fact that they attacked early in the shot clock.
Williams, that's a 2-pointer. The Rockets pull it in.
He is single-handedly dropping the temperature in here with that cold streak.
And he's got to find other ways to contribute then, because his shot making is not happening right now.
And the call on the shot that sends him to the line. You and I have talked about how the NBA Finals used to be tape delayed. What's the value of fans getting to see the broadcast live now as opposed to tape delayed as it was back in the 70s?
Isn't that weird to even think that that's the case?
I know it.
You know, I think that the fans, they just feel more connected to their favorite teams and players. It creates more anxiety, right? Because nowadays there's nothing that can happen that you don't know about it, whether you see it or not. So live sports, especially the NBA Finals, the anticipation, that anxiety that we talked about, man, I'm still a fan to this day in a different way. So I can only imagine when you have a personal vested interest in a team, what that's got to feel like.
Edge of your seat, you're right. Patrick Beverley, he's checked in for the Clippers. Reggie Jackson comes in for Williams. And both free throws good for Gordon. Clippers trail by 4. Beverley feeling it out a bit. Pass to Jackson. Can't hit that one. And Houston the other way now. They've led by as much as 10. In the third quarter with just over 3.5 minutes off the clock. They grab their own miss. Gordon with no one around. Good on the three-point shot. Gordon's got 11 points.
Boy, Gordon sends that one straight down and in from beyond the arc.
They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
No good from Zubac. Rockets leading by 7. To the middle. And it's Green with the jam.
And just tacks a few more points onto their lead with the tomahawk.
That's bringing it down hard.
Guys, it is symbolic of their effort here tonight.
Now, here's Shamet. He's been patient so far. Nothing on the scoreboard yet. 6 to shoot. Jackson, that's a two-pointer. Los Angeles with another miss. Rockets on offense. They're on a 13-4 run right now. Gordon dishes to McLemore. A minute 20 left in the third quarter of the game. Here's Rivers. Rebound by the Clippers. Zubac has got 5 rebounds tonight. Green with the block. And he recovers it.
And now we get a moment to see the numbers for Patrick Beverley. He's been putting up about 4 points a game, 2 assists, and 2 rebounds. And frankly, I think he can play better, guys. I mean, even he would have to admit to that.
Yeah, realistically, he's going to have to step it up. I mean, that's the reality. Or he's going to start to lose those minutes.
And that one misses. Harrell, he's checked in for the Clippers. The Rockets also changing it up. Damari Carroll's checked in for Gordon. James Harden comes in for Ben McLemore. And it's Russell Westbrook in for Austin Rivers. And he sinks the second. Here is Harden. He's got 11. There's 57 seconds left in the third quarter. Passes it to House. Green kicks to Westbrook. And here's Harden. Defended by Beverley. Clock at 4. Harden's shot is good. Harden's got the lead up to 10 now for Houston.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
And on the flip side, the defenders have to show more fight on the interior. They've got to offer more resistance here.
And how about the confidence right now from Jackson? Not bashful at attacking and drawing attention from there.
The Clippers have scored 6 points from their 8 attempts at the line so far. First free throw is good, and the Clippers making a change here. George is checked in. Both good from the line that time. Shot and game clock separated by 5. Westbrook up top, guarded by Jackson. And there it is for him. Westbrook's got 4 points in the quarter.
And now you see them starting to really work the ball inside.
George with the ball. 12 points for him. Right side Jackson. With 1 on the clock, and good that time. Jackson's got 16. And so it's the Houston Rockets in the driver's seat, up 8 points at the end of the quarter. They're playing a bruising game inside, and it's working for them. We come back right after this. Here now a chance to show you our assist of the game, and it's presented as always by State Farm.
And how about the big fella here showing us he's got some point guard skill here with the tremendous setup.
Hey, that was a high-level pass no matter what position it came from. But it does make it stand out a little more when it's made by the big fella.
And with 3 quarters behind us, let's see what this 4th period holds in store for us. Harrell is out there with Ivica Zubac. Then there's Jackson. Then it's Paul George. And it's Mann in at the 3 spot. So that's the lineup on the floor for the Clippers. Harden can't hit.
With the defense refusing to give up anything easy, love seeing that kind of intensity.
The pass to George. Here's Mann. Just 4 to shoot. Here's Harrell, and a good offensive board, and he gets the bucket.
The dogged intensity Harrell has is just insane, and he uses all this energy to his advantage, particularly on the glass.
Here is House. Pass to Harden, shoots the 3. It's hauled in by the Clippers. Zubac has got his 7th rebound of the game with that last one.
1 made 3 formed for the game. Does he focus closer in? Let's see.
Just over a minute played here in the 4th. Rockets leading by 4. Pass to House. Carroll with it. He's defended by Harrell. Harden kicks to House. And it's off from 3-point range. And so it's Jackson who brings it up for Los Angeles here in the 4th quarter. Their defense has been very strong, allowing no baskets. Here's Westbrook. Oh, and the jam by Westbrook.
That is really where Russell Westbrook excels, in transition with that great speed of his.
Harden against George. He feeds it to Jackson. Carroll with the rebound. Rockets have gone 1 of 4 since the end of the 3rd quarter. In the corner, Harden. No good on the triple. Clippers trail by 6. Here's Mann. Passes to George. 5 to shoot. Jackson. Offensive rebound. That one good for 2.
Just a grinder. Always doing the dirty work on the offensive glass, and that's one of the things he brings to the table.
Now a timeout called by Houston. For the Clippers, Marcus Morris is checked in for Zubac. Lou Williams is subbed in for Reggie Jackson. Robert Covington's checked in for the Rockets. Gordon comes in for Danuel House. And on our sideline, our reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, guys, over that last break, I listened to Mike D'Antoni talk to his team. He said, guys, we don't want to play hero ball. We don't want to take threes that aren't there. There are better options when you run the offense all the way through. Evan will see if they can make that adjustment.
Yeah, you know, Westbrook is dangerous from everywhere, and he seems to be quite comfortable operating in the mid-range, too.
Harrell the pass to George. And he lobs it up toward the rim. That shot no good. Rockets leading by 6. And here comes Harden, leading the fast break. Wasted no time on that one.
The assist totals, Kevin, just continue to grow. They're way ahead in that category. Ball movement has been flawless.
Clearly just an example of a different mindset between these teams.
Nice work to get it inside and draw the contact.
Exactly. The defense determined not to allow the easy layup right there. They'll settle for making him earn the free throws.
And let's quickly check out the scoring breakdown here for the Rockets.
Well, it's been an outstanding game for them in the open court. Their fast break points really stand out.
And also, guys, they take a lot of pride in their ability to rebound the basketball, especially on the offensive end.
And the first one drops. And George drops them both.
The lead's not looking as comfortable after those free throws. Nice job.
Rockets leading by 6. Outside Gordon. And the pass to Tucker. Fires for 3. Hits it from three-point range.
Boy, Tucker looked like he felt disrespected by the defense there. He reminds them that he can knock it down from deep, too.
Now, here's George. Inside, Harrell. Shooting foul as the whistle blows. He'll shoot 2 free throws.
You know, I tell you what, he earned his money on that foul.
Yeah, if you're going to foul, then make sure that you don't give a chance for the and one.
Montrezl Harrell at the line for 2.
He hits the first one, and that brings them within 8. And the second free throw, no good. A tough break there.
Boy, he'd sure like to have that miss back. Hard to chip away at a lead when you're leaving freebies at the line.
For Los Angeles, they've gone 3 of 8 here in the fourth quarter. Lob pass to George, and it's George finishing it off.
And don't sleep on Williams' ability to create for others. That's a veteran play.
Westbrook passes to Gordon. Now Harden. 1:21 left in the fourth. Give it on the bucket. Harden's got 4 points this quarter.
Great focus from the clever guard, James Harden. I mean, so good at staying with his shot, even under duress.
Los Angeles calls timeout. They're trailing by 8. 1:20 left to play in the final quarter. Present our New Balance Player of the Game, Russell Westbrook.
He's put on a shooting exhibition for us here tonight. He's missed a couple along the way, but it sure seems like everything's been falling for him. The only way to keep him from converting is to keep the ball out of his hands.
He's really seemed to feed off the hostile environment he's been faced with tonight. 1:20 left to play here in the fourth. George against Harden. It'll go. The Rocket lead is cut down to just 6 points with the basket from George.
Hey, you know that George is going to take the shot when the game is up for grabs. I mean, that's who he is, and that's what's expected of him. He's an exceptional decision maker in these situations, which makes it even more obvious.
Now here's Gordon. Pass to Covington. Just 5 to shoot. And Harden gets it to go in on the assist from Covington.
I really appreciate how Harden handles contact, staying in control of his body, and tremendous balance.
On the wing, George, guarded by Harden. The shot by George, no good. Now the Rockets with it. Puts up a 3, and another 3 for Houston.
And it's just competing, you know, giving your best when it matters most.
Yeah, you know, once they got victory in their view, a huge injection of energy and a great run to finish it off.
Coming off a big game, his confidence couldn't be higher, and Coach knows it.
Showing no signs of slowing or cooling down. They're going to ride him as far as he can take it.
From downtown, that doesn't go either for George. Now here's Harden. So we see the Rockets get the win here. They came in here and took care of business like they were the home team.
And Kevin, how about the mental toughness that this group showed? They were never rattled at all by the opposing fans.
And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. James, another explosive score and productive night for you. How'd you get into that rhythm?
Our teammates did an unbelievable job tonight, man. Every night, every single night of, you know, getting me open, getting me shots, and we came away with the victory. That's all that matters.
Well, they did a great job, man, but so did you. Thanks. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For David Aldridge, Greg Anthony, and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time.